Former President Donald Trump. At least 13 people died in 3 Israeli airstrikes on refugee camps in central Gaza overnight into Saturday as ceasefire talks in Cairo showed progress, according to Palestinian health officials.
Among those killed in the Nuseirat and Bureij refugee camps were 3 children and 1 woman.
Sheila Jackson Lee, the longtime U.S. representative from Texas, has passed away, her family announced in a statement.
The Congresswoman died at 74 after a brief cancer battle. With incredible grief for our loss, yet deep gratitude for the life she shared with us, her family stated.
Louisiana's new law mandating the display of the 10 Commandments in all public school classrooms will not be enforced or endorsed publicly until November 15th, according to a recent court filing in the ongoing legal dispute.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee, and hot.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
And we'll see about that. And good morning, people. It is Monday, July 22nd, 2024. I hope it's a beautiful day wherever you are. It's certainly shaping up to be a typical summer day here. I want to talk a little bit, obviously, big news over the weekend and political crap. Politics brings out the worst of us, man. And I want to talk a little bit about, not from a political perspective, but from a human perspective, Joe Biden. I've followed Joe Biden's career going back to the early 80s and was never the biggest fan of his. And even through the vice presidency with Obama and all that stuff, not a big fan. And he would not have been my pick to run against Donald Trump in 2020, but he was. He was the guy that got nominated. His accomplishments, whether you acknowledge them or not, were extraordinary in a first term for a president. But that's not what is really glaring to me in this moment. Pride is a tough thing. And we are completely out of empathy, and people are unable to separate themselves from rah-rah team politics. And he's not my guy. He must be evil. He's on the other team. He must be evil. He must be a bad guy. This is an old man who has, you know what, if you've ever had a grandfather, and I'm not the only person who's used this analogy, a grandfather who was done driving in a way that was safe and you try to take the keys from him, you know the resistance there. It's a matter of pride. It's a matter of understanding that you have to do what's best for the family, for yourself, and step aside. And it's a very hard thing to do. Imagine the lure, the clinging to power of being the most powerful man in the world and being asked and being told you're not up to it. You need to step aside. Swallow your pride for the good of the country, for the good of the party, for the good of the cause. It's a difficult thing to do, and an extremely difficult thing to do. And if you can't put yourself in that man's shoes today and you're still villainizing, demonizing him, fuck you. You're an empathy-less fuck. You are not a human being. You are less than human. You've lost your humanity. Just on a human level. If you can't relate to what Joe Biden must be going through, swallowing his pride, and being forced to give up the car keys, but more than the car keys, the power of being the most powerful man in the world. It's got to be humbling and somewhat soul-breaking experience. So on that level, if you can't relate to the man, you can't put down your fucking political sword for one day and appreciate what he's going through as a human being. Fuck you. Really. Fuck you. Get out of my world. Don't come near me. Don't say hello to me. Don't be part of this fucking chat room. I'm telling you that right now. You're not going to enjoy the way I treat you if you can't find any humanity within yourself toward the guy who's got to be really, really brokenhearted in this moment. I'm going to take a second while we look at the sponsors and try to lift my spirits today. We are going to have a double dose of comedy. Scott Shanahan, a comedian who is an American comedian who's living in Italy. I believe he's teaching, preaching, and doing comedy there. And then Jackie Brown, not Pam Grier, Jackie Brown from Birmingham, Alabama, who has a show called Come on My Couch, which, all right, that makes me kind of smile a little bit. Anyway, Daily High Club, check it out.
With humble East Coast beginnings in 2015, Daily High Club is the premier destination for glass water pipes, vaporizers, and consumption accessories. If you're looking to elevate your smoking game to the next level, you're in the right place. With over 1 million top-quality smoking products sold, and with a growing base of over 10,000 monthly subscribers worldwide, we deliver the ultimate smoking experience. But Daily High Club is not just a retailer, we're lovers of the smoking scene ourselves, working with giants like Tommy Chong, Snoop Dogg, Chanel West Coast, and more. Ready to join the Daily High Club? Let our experts curate your collection with our awesome El Primo monthly subscription box, or grab one of our fun and unique pieces from our smoke shop. Click the link in the description below this video to get this party started now.
Get the party started now. Look at that. Almost lined up, right? Not really. Like this. Oh, well. Good morning, dudes. Steven looks very good. I've never seen Steven look so good.
It looks very Christmassy, very colorful.
Yeah. He must have had work done. He looks handsome today. Do you have any kind of dopey little announcement about Mind Dog TV or something?
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. Did you leave your couch yesterday for 2 minutes only to return or learn that big news happened? Join the Mind Dog TV chat thread to keep up to date on the latest news. Push your phone number right here in the chat, and by the grace of dog, you may be added to our thread. MindDogTV.com. Enjoy the stuff.
Grace of dog. Yeah. I like that. By the grace of dog. It's kind of, I guess you listened to the Rev sermon yesterday.
Yes, I did.
So yeah, Grace of Dog is a different take on that, I have to say. Happy anniversary, Stephen Ortiz.
Hey, thanks, guys. How are you doing this morning?
Not the guys. I'm the only one who said it. Now Ron's gonna jump on it now that he knows.
Well, thank you, Matt.
What anniversary?
It's my second wedding anniversary.
You were married before?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So this is your second one. Got it. I got you. Okay, yeah.
Well, it's my second year anniversary. There you go.
Oh, okay. Is that cotton? Is that the cotton one?
I
guess if anyone would know, it's you.
I think it's smoke. Oh, that's fucked up.
Yes, it is the cotton anniversary, though. Yes.
So you know it too. Is that because of the thread count in your sheet? Your hood? The thread count in your hood?
Yes, 100% cotton. And I gifted it to her. And no, actually, I got her a blanket with a love letter on it that I wrote her when we were dating.
What letter was it? M?
I know it's super gay, but it's cotton. I didn't know what else to do. Was that or a T-shirt? I didn't know.
From the Mind Dog TV store, no, you couldn't have, because the store has been down since that CrowdStrike thing. It had moments of being back up, but I can't take it anymore. I just can't take it anymore. Well, you know what? I had a good 9 days straight without any website issues, and then the CrowdStrike thing happened. So now I'm back to square one. We'll get it fixed again, and then there'll be another CrowdStrike terrorist attack or whatever. They said it was a simple update that screwed
I'm not buying
thousands. Yeah, whatever. We don't buy anything. This is the problem with society right now. You can't believe anything.
I would believe it. I find it hard to believe that a singular update could affect 911 centers, banks, airplanes, terminals.
No, it's very possible. When I worked for Chester, one of the projects I was on a project for SAP, and there's a notorious story about SAP when Hershey went over to SAP, and they went into it blind, and they went over to SAP, and for 3 days they could not ship anything. They could not ship anything at all, and it literally shut them down.
Right.
Remember the great shortage?
Are you guys are you feeling politics fatigue, or you know, are you overwhelmed by just the constant news cycle and the bad jokes that come out every fucking day? Every time something happens, it's like a barrage of really amateur jokes that, you know, people are just desperate to be the first one to come out with this stupid joke, no matter what it is. It's like Joe Biden's the first Catholic to ever pull out, whatever.
I haven't heard that one, but that's funny.
Yeah, all of it. It's just like, come on,
they're
man.
Funny, but they're dumb. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you're not feeling any overwhelmed by, because I certainly am. I'm totally. I just want to check out.
I got exhausted yesterday, not because of the news, but news adjacent. My wife was so upset about about Biden stepping down, removing himself from running for re-election, and she was so tired of people dissing Kamala Harris in the process, and she got really upset, and I had to spend half of my day trying to comfort her and say, look, this is just how shit is. And she goes, aren't you upset like me? I said, no, I'm not upset. I said, I understand. That's what people do. People are stupid. People are shitty. I understand that.
People are shitty.
And it's going to get worse.
And people have no, you know, just on the human level, it really, really disturbs me that, I mean, Trump is still acting like he's running against Joe Biden and attacking him, but all the MAGA people are still attacking him like, you know what, like he's still their enemy, like he's their mortal enemy. And on that level, I can't wait till these fucking people get old and somebody takes the car keys away from them and they feel it. You know what? Separate yourself from the politics for 1 second and feel like a human being and understand how difficult that decision had to be. And I know you guys, but you all were basically calling it, saying it would be this weekend. I didn't think that would happen. Probably one person in 340 million who didn't think that would. Well, obviously, the Republicans didn't really think it would happen from their reaction. They're kind of shocked. They're scared. They're taken back. They're going to put legal challenges to this whole thing. They want to, do anything they can not to run against Kamala Harris. Although they said that they wanted to run against Kamala Harris. Basically, when they say something, it's a lie. But they are.
This kind of shows you the. Yeah, it's gross, and it kind of shows you the character of everyone. The dude's no longer an opponent. He's no longer ops. G, you know what I'm saying? The people are still going after him, and it's crazy. It's like the dude's gonna finish his job and leave him alone.
Well, and that's the other thing. There are a few people in GOP that are requesting that he step down now because they're saying, well, if he's unfit to run for office, he can't be in office. It's like, no one said he was unfit. The reason he's out is because the financial coffers are drying up, and pressure is being put on down ballot candidates saying they're not getting any money.
Bottom line is they did not check in with the boss. Because the boss only cares. He only really cares about his bank account. And so if they check in with Trump and he realizes that she becomes 47 and all that money he has stock left he has in 47 merchandise and all of the merchandise he's already sold now points to her, he'd be like, no, don't get him to step down.
I told my wife that you had mentioned that last week, and I said, and that was so devious. I said I had to take my hat off the mat because I wanted Biden to step down and make her president like 6 months ago, but only so that she'd be running as an incumbent and not so that. That was my thinking, but your thinking is so much more devious, and I appreciate it so much more.
I'm sure that I'm not kidding though. That I think Trump would make that decision just based on the fact that this merchandise and the money that's been laid out, he's not going to let that go to waste. That's this guy. He can't make a decision that's going to take a dime out of his coffers. And so that's a very weighing thing, fam. They did not check with him. I think if they check with him, they'll find out that's not what he wants at all. But
no, I mean, thanks to that computer glitch and Biden dropping out, that completely took any momentum away from them at all that they thought they had after that shitty convention speech.
What convention? I don't remember any convention. Was it?
Exactly.
I think Ron meant to say unconventional speech. I think that's what Ron meant to say.
So you mean the Kid Rock concert featuring Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Glad to meet.
Or the shame that Hulk Hogan didn't do a Bret Hart on stage. It was a shame,
Well, at least Melania showed up for something. And that's something.
Would have been better if Melania showed up and gave him a stunner.
Yeah.
All right. It's time to meet our first guest. I need a little coffee to meet our first guest. Scott Shanahan, which is a nice Italian name. By the way, I had an idea for something viral that we could do.
No, not herpes again.
Yeah, I know. No, AIDS.
I was about to say that.
Much worse than that. If we could get together with a video camera and teach you to speak, I'm talking to GD. I'm pointing right at GD. Teach you to speak Brooklyn Italian for like a longer period of time. Just me following you around with a video camera, going into like Italian delis and ordering in super Guinea Italian mobster, Brooklyn mobster talk. If you could do that for an extended period of time, and I think that would go viral. It's like, oh, look at this black guy acting like Joe Guido.
It would not take long for me to learn to speak that kind of Italian. It wouldn't take long at all.
You come here, hang out with me for like an hour, and you basically would not be able to stop talking like that. I mean, all my
unfortunately, I have a really. I'm going to mention this one time. I have a really bad habit. If I'm around people with accents for more than a few hours, I begin to subconsciously talk like they do. And
Me too.
I was at a comedy club, and I was sitting with a friend of Ron knows this young lady, Davine Kerr. I was sitting with her, and at the table, 4 Chinese people came up who had Chinese accents. They came up, and as soon as the guy started talking to me, I looked at him and said, "Look, I'm going to tell you right now, we're going to be sitting here for a few hours, and it's not disrespectful." I said, but after about 2 hours, I'm going to start speaking in a Chinese accent, and it's nothing personal. I do that no matter who sits next to me. I start talking in their accent. I'm not being disrespectful. And Davine goes, he's telling you the truth. He does that. He can't help it. And then the woman goes, my husband's my husband the same way.
I think we're mixing up Japanese and Chinese culture here a little bit, and which is a sin in itself. It's very racist. Let's meet Scott. Scott Shanahan is an American comedian living in Italy. He's performed comedy in 4 different countries and most states on the East Coast. He's been performing for about 8 years with a couple of years off for bad behavior. He's here now. Welcome, Scott Shanahan.
Hey, thanks for having me. And if I can just tell GD, I have that exact same habit, and it annoys me. I grew up in Boston, and I moved to Atlanta, and within a day, I was saying umbrella instead of umbrella, insurance instead of insurance. I moved to Ireland and immediately annoyed all of my family by calling my daughter the wee little lass and stuff like that. I have no control over it. I cannot stop it. So
did you become an alcoholic too right away, or how long did that take?
That was before. That was before.
How long did it take you to get into a bar fight?
Yeah, the alcoholism predated the move to Ireland. So
I was watching Newhart yesterday, a Johnny Carson clip with Bob Newhart, and he said he was 1/4 German and 3/4 Irish. That makes him a very meticulous drunk. So you speak Italian fluently?
Fluently is if I say that, then immediately I make mistakes. So I speak it well. I speak it well enough to perform. So I don't really go so far say fluently, but yes.
This is interesting. You write the jokes. I'm guessing you write jokes in English and then have to translate them into Italian?
It depends on the joke. So some jokes don't really translate. Some of my act, I can I have a joke. I'm married, and I have a joke where I say, I love my wife. She has one annoying habit, heroin. And that joke translated pretty well to Italian, but that does not always happen. So for some Italian plays on words, I have to write them in Italian, but I'd say about 75% of my act I translate. Yeah.
Now, do they not have heroin in Italy?
I'm sorry. What's that?
Do they not have heroin in Italy?
Oh no, they do. No, that one translates. That one translates.
Yeah. They have plenty. See, these guys never watched The Godfather. This is a sin. I know. I have to do something about that. But if they did, they would know about the Turk and his heroin trade in the 1940s in Italy.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. So what made you go to Italy in the first place?
I've actually lived outside of the U.S. for like 20 years. I lived on a little island for a long time in the Pacific. Then we moved to Ireland. But Ireland, even though my name is Scott Patrick Shanahan, they would not give us a visa. So we just looked for another opportunity. And And there was an opportunity to teach English here in Italy. So my wife and I took it, and we've been here for about a little over 5 years now. I guess we moved out of the U.S. In 2005, I guess. So not quite 20 years ago. So
are you on the run?
Yes.
Are you on the run?
Yeah,
witness protection or something?
So actually, that's another. I have another joke in my act where I talk about how I lived in 4 countries in 6 years, and some people call me a world traveler. Other people call me a fugitive from justice. It just depends on your perspective. So,
yeah.
How long have you been
we just like being outside of the U.S. and this way, no matter who's elected, if we say we're leaving the country, it's true. So,
now, how long have you been doing comedy?
So the first time I ever did it was 2015, so not quite 9 years ago. But then there was between COVID and moving to Italy, where when we first moved here, there was really no stand-up comedy to do. It was about a 3-year gap. So I would say I've been doing it, 5-6 years total.
Right.
So there was no comedy in Italy when you got there. So did you invent comedy? Is that what
no?
You did?
That's not. Yeah, there was not much. And what happened was, I decided to get back into doing comedy, and and where I live in Florence, there was very little comedy happening and no English comedy. And so there was people doing some stand-up shows in Rome, but not very much. And I set up a show here in Florence, and then all of a sudden, all these other people who were thinking about setting up shows and doing comedy contacted me. And then we have now shows, 3-4 nights a week here in Florence. And, 5 years ago, there was maybe one show a week in Italian.
Wow.
And I'm not taking credit for starting stand-up comedy in Italy, but at least in my little corner of Italy, there wasn't much of anything happening. And just a lot of us had the idea at the same time. So none of us can really take credit, say, well, I did it first, but we all kind of worked together right at the same time. And now we have a really good scene here in Florence.
So is it similar to the U.S., like comedy clubs? Are you doing coffee houses? Are you doing restaurants? What is the venue opportunities over there?
So if there's a comedy club in Italy, I've never seen it. We do bars, coffee shops. We actually have a lot this summer. We've had a lot of shows that are outdoors in sort of it almost like a park, but not really. It's kind of hard to describe. It's a very uniquely Italian setup. But yeah, we don't have any comedy clubs. The scene's not big enough to support just a comedy
in Florence,
club.
But anywhere in Italy, does that hold for the whole boot?
The Vatican,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
what about Vatican? I realize Vatican's a different country than Italy, but do they have a comedy club?
I don't think so. Some would say St. Peter's Basilica is one, but I don't know. So no, again, as far as I know, there's not any full-time comedy clubs. I remember when I first decided to do a show in Florence, I just Googled Italy Comedy Club, and something came up that said Rome Comedy Club, but it was a one night a month show in another venue. So
Wow.
So
it would be interesting if they adopted the dopey American culture of naming comedy clubs like ridiculous, funny bone ha-has, chuckles. I don't know what it would be in Italian, but just to see that would be amusing to me.
Yeah,
just the naming convention. Yeah,
Rideres would be laughing. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure how they would do that. That would be interesting to see. Yeah.
I wonder if it would be called knee breakers.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
That's a Brooklyn club. There is one.
I have a question for you though. That I guess it's something I just don't understand. ABBA is from Sweden, but their number one song seems to be "Mamma Mia." Mamma Mia is not a Swedish expression. Did they have to pay Italy royalties for that? How does that work out? I don't understand it at all.
I would assume they did not, but yeah, that's an interesting thing because they're a Swedish band singing in English and using an Italian phrase. So I don't know. I
But
guess
isn't
all the planets aligned for them on that one hit.
but isn't that like Sweden though, not to make a commitment to anything?
I think they might be. Yeah.
I have a question. In Italy, is Italian dressing just called dressing?
It actually does not exist, and neither does Alfredo sauce. If you tell an Italian you like Alfredo sauce, they will ask you 100% of the time. They'll say, "Who's Alfredo?"
Yeah.
My whole world is now upside down. Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh no! Last year or about 2 years ago now, we did this whole thing of I was working for a company that was tasting New York, and we were doing restaurant reviews and stuff like that. And I had to do a whole lot of research on Italian food and the origins of it, and pizza and all that. So pizza wasn't a thing in the United States until 1950s, and all that kind of stuff. Very interesting stuff. But Alfredo sauce was actually invented in Brooklyn, New York.
That's
I
right.
believe somewhere in the 1940s. So yeah.
So
I guess that makes sense because Chinese food doesn't exist in China like it does here. So
when
they just
when
call
I hear,
food.
yeah, when I hear the title "Tasting New York," I'm picturing somebody like licking a building or a sidewalk. So that's not a great image.
Well, our
But-
second guest has a show called "Come on My Couch," which is makes me think of something completely different than what I'm sure she has in mind for that.
I think she might want you to think that, but yeah,
there's a whole category of those on this website I go to.
Is that right? Yeah, but Italian food in America is not Italian, not real Italian food. And but they have several American restaurants here in Italy where we serve American food here, and it's always disgusting. It's never accurate. So I know now how they feel about Olive Garden after.
I was about to say now, is the food disgusting because either they don't know how to make American food, or that's just what they think American food tastes like? It's disgusting.
That could be, but it does not taste like American food. So what we would like, they'll have a hamburger and it'll just be a little off. There'll be like some
like it's not beef. Not beef, it's made out of lizard.
It's beef, but there's like just something in the bun or something, some extra spice on it that doesn't go on a hamburger or something, and
like
it's
pesto.
yeah, or cilantro or something.
Maybe that's where the Italian dressing went.
Maybe always a little bit off.
So instead of a BLT, they have like a BCT. It's like bacon, cilantro, and tomatoes.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
We should also mention GD is a shill for Applebee's. This is some Applebee's agenda right now.
And he won't even get us a sponsorship. Fucker.
No, he hogs it all to himself.
Okay. I'm not a shill for Applebee's. I'm not a shill for Applebee's. That's a rumor that my wife started so that I could get a discount whenever we go there.
You don't get the
I hope often.
No, they think I'm the bald black guy from the commercial, so they give me a discount.
Now, you mentioned you lived on a little island. What was the island?
So the island is called Pohnpei. It's in Micronesia. So if you've ever heard of Guam, it's about 1,000 miles away from Guam. It's about 500 miles north of the equator, about halfway between Hawaii and the Philippines. You guys didn't know there was going to be a geography portion.
No, I'm thrilled with this. I love geography. I met a guy who was born on Pago Pago.
Okay, that's in Polynesia. So the same part of the world, but that would be like me telling So imagine if you said you were from Brooklyn, and I was like, "Oh man, I met a guy from Buenos Aires." You like that would be kind of the equivalent.
I get it. No, but it's a small island country, and the thing about it was, I think the population when he was born was like 8.
Yeah,
literally like 8 people. So he's one of. That's an unusual thing to be able to claim. I'm one of the 8. Born there, native Pago Pagoan, and I used to say I'm actually from Pago Pago, but my family was so poor we could only afford one Pago, so I was from East Pago. He didn't laugh at that. Like you're not laughing.
I did.
He giggled.
Now,
GD, you have a question.
yeah, that is. You were talking about the two islands. Now, if I may have this wrong, and you can correct me if I do. I don't have a problem with that. But like smack dab in the middle of that, isn't that where the island of misfit toys is?
Yes, that's why we went there, because I am a misfit toy. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, what part of the U.S. were you originally from?
So I grew up in New England. We moved around a lot, but always in New England. And so people always ask when I tell them that I moved around a lot. They always ask if my parents were in the military. And no,
you know, New England is made up of several miles of territory. What part of New England?
Yes, that's why. Well, it's hard to narrow down because we moved around a lot. But I was born in Nashua, New Hampshire. So now people can be closer to stealing my identity.
Home of the National Guild of Hypnotists.
Is that right?
National, yeah.
I would never have known. And then
that's because they made you forget when you left.
There you go. There you go.
You will not remember this.
And then we moved to Massachusetts, and we bounced around a lot in New Hampshire and Massachusetts. So
wow. Yeah. But you started doing comedy here in the U.S., right? You did. I'm assuming that because it says you performed up and down the East Coast, or most of the states in the East Coast.
Yeah. So the first place I ever did was a show in Atlanta. I lived on that little island at the time on Pohnpei, and we came back, and I just signed up for an open mic at the Laughing Skull Lounge in Atlanta, and that's where it started. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Now, do I dare ask how you support? I mean, obviously, if comedy is not a full-time thing over there, and I don't know about the cost of living in Italy, but I assume it's pretty much the same as everywhere else. It's a struggle to make it just on comedy alone. Because I think I saw something about you being a preacher. Are you a preacher?
I am. In fact, I work with a small church here, but I mostly teach English as sort of like a outreach thing here. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so were you like a missionary? I mean, spreading the word. I mean, is that what brought you out of the States and around the world?
Yes, that is. Yeah. Yeah. So any jokes about my missionary position is fine if you want to go there. That's what brought me to the island. And then there was a little church in Ireland that asked us to help, and then they wouldn't let us stay. And then so here in Italy, what we do mostly though is just teach English, but for a church program.
Now, my understanding of the missionary work is basically, I have a friend who's a minister, and so we have these discussions.
It's fake. I'm sorry.
I'm not a fake friend. I'm a good friend. He talks about basically rice bowl Christians, where they convert to Christianity just so they can be fed. Now they have food already in Italy. So
yes.
So how do you bribe them to join Christianity?
We call them pasta bowl Christians.
No, I tell them they will have to watch my comedy videos on Instagram if they don't convert. So
and then they convert to Satanism at that point.
You should threaten them with GDs. They'll be chomping down the Bible like it's.
No, we don't ever. We don't use all that.
It would make them finally not believe in God and have the strength to hang themselves.
Yeah, no, that there is in poorer countries it's like that, but we've never used that kind of bribery to get people to come. So if you want to come, you'll come. If you don't, you don't. It's not.
So what kind of bribery did you use? You said you didn't use that kind of bribery. What kind of bribery did you use?
Just cash only.
Okay.
The international language.
Is your comedy by necessity all clean then? Like you don't work blue at all?
I do not work blue at all.
Wow.
I'll get close to the line, but no, I don't.
What's the line? What's the line? Because when it comes to quote clean comedy, for the most part, people know what they cannot say, but it's what they can say that is the deterrent. So or that's the scary part, what they can say. So
right.
What is the line? You say you come up to the line, so you must have a line.
Yeah. So for me, I don't curse in my regular life anyway. So I don't use any foul language. And then if I'm gonna make I guess I might occasionally make like a PG-13 joke about sex with my wife or something like that. But I don't do a lot of that, So
Right.
it's really not my personality either. Like when people meet me, that's not really what they expect from me. So
Well, it is what people expect here. They
Hey, everybody, we're all going to get laid.
I'm sorry about that.
That's fine. I love it.
I think that was Ron. It could have been Steven. Either way, they're both fired. They're both fired.
Well. It's fine. One of the things that happens a lot, though, just since we brought this up, is when I'll do a new venue, or even like an open mic, and you talk to the other comics afterwards. They'll ask you, "What's your day job?" And I'll say, "Well, I'm a preacher." And they'll say, this happens a lot. They'll apologize. They'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry for the stuff I said." And I always tell them, "Look, you don't have to apologize to me. You're the one going to hell. It's not my problem."
Oh, nice. Nice. I like that.
I love that answer. That's great.
That does break the ice, and it helps them feel better. But I don't care. Funny's funny.
It melts the ice.
There you go.
I have a friend who's a minister, and when he performs, when he shows up in his collar, comedians immediately begin to apologize to him. If they don't know him, they start to apologize because they don't understand what he's about to do to that stage.
Okay,
PD, I think don't lie to the preacher about having friends.
Do you know any good psychiatrists? Because it appears somebody is having a disassociation moment. That he's talking about himself in the third person, and I'm just a guy I know who is talking about himself in the third person.
Well, yeah, he's yeah.
If I saw somebody with a collar on, I would assume he's doing a character. I think I don't think I would go with that must be a minister. So
especially if it was in a comedy club, you would think.
Yeah. And from my impression, especially if he was friends with GD. So, and I've just met GD. So.
He's a really good judge of character.
My mind is trying to figure out what GD stands for. So I only have one option so far. Gordon Daniel.
That's pretty close.
His name is Gentry Dickens Fenderson is his real name. And
wow. I was surprised to hear that. Anyway, so with that, is it like dry bar comedy, like where you have to kind of my friend Chris Monty, he does in his act suggestive PG stuff, but he doesn't curse. And he brings up one of his things is he got married. Him and his wife had to get married, and you hear the Mormon crowd just gasp a little bit. And he said, "Well, I needed the health insurance," that kind of stuff. So is it kind of like a dry bar comedy thing with you? Do you get suggestive in that way, at all, or is it like knock joke?
Yeah. No, it's 100% knock jokes and puns. That's it. That's why I'm such a big hit over here. No, yeah, it's more like that. So I do have a joke about losing my memory, and I'll give you an example of my memory problems. I met a woman the other day, and she was really beautiful. She told me her name, and I immediately forgot that I'm married. And and then the joke goes, the look on my wife's face when we got home, and then it continues from there. But so it's suggestive, but not dirty,
Yeah, Tom Cotter, who's the comedian over here, who's he's been on America's Got Talent and stuff. He does that kind of stuff. It's all about the timing of the breaking up a sentence, giving that awkward pause in the middle of a sentence, that kind of thing. Good stuff. I'm a big fan of that. So I'm wondering, do you need it the kind of thing where you need to be writing all the time, or is it you can do the same material for like years on end because there's not a lot of opportunity to perform at it. You're only getting so I would think the material goes along, it stretches out a longer way over time. Is that fair or not?
No, because especially I do a monthly English show, and the crowd is like 30% the same people every month that come, and so I have to do. But I'm usually hosting that show, so it's not. I don't do a lot of material at it anyway. But yeah, we have enough people that come to a lot of shows, especially here in Florence, that I do have to come up with new material. I mean, as often as I can. And now when I travel, I do shows in Milan and Bologna and Rome, and I'm trying to branch out to other European countries that have English speaking shows. And when I do that, then I can repeat material, obviously. But here in Florence, I have to be trying new stuff all the time.
Now, I have a question also about your teaching and your comedy. Now, there was a teacher I knew in Israel who was teaching English to Arabs and to Muslims, and he was actually using some of my material as to teach people because of what you do in comedy with the English language to make things funny, how you twist things and contort things. And so he was actually using some of my material to teach his class. Do you ever use your comedy to help teach English?
No, no, I don't think I ever really have. I do.
You don't think you have? Don't you know your material? You know that you
I'm trying to think if I guess I've never. I don't make a point to do it. I'm trying to just think. Have I ever told a joke in one of my classes to see if they would get it or anything? I know. I don't know about, again, using my material, but I know I've done like plays on words with them, and they almost never get it. So it's very rare that they make the connections. So
all right, let me. What you got something to say?
I just need you to quit reaching up inside of me when people are talking.
Right. I was trying to hold stuff up for Didi to look at.
Yeah, it looks like.
Oh wait, where'd your watch go?
Yeah. By the way,
being that they're not comedy clubs,
GD has.
venues that are not comedy clubs, and I think Ron did a show on Saturday night that was like this. It wasn't a comedy club, very bright and lit up, and I think there's something about an atmosphere of a comedy club that is far more conducive to lightening up, freeing people to laugh. And I think when the lights are too bright is one thing which inhibits people, and the other part of it is if there's too much space between people. I think the uncomfortableness of a comedy club where you're shoulder to shoulder with strangers, I don't know, for some weird way that frees us up to just kind of belly laugh a lot more. So is it difficult in the places you play to get the right atmosphere, the places you perform, setting up the right atmosphere for a comedy environment?
Yes. Yeah. So there's one place that we do weekly shows. One week's in Italian, the next week's in English. It's actually a youth hostel. And when I first heard that, I was picturing doing the show in the lobby and it just being awful. But they have a room, they have a stage, and it's perfect. I mean, the lighting is perfect, the seating is perfect. I mean, it looks like a comedy club. And that place is great. But then a lot of the other places, you're right, the lighting is off, or we have one room that we do sometimes that not only is the lighting off, it's also really hot in there all the time.
Yeah.
And that makes people uncomfortable, and it doesn't get, it's not conducive to comedy. And then I did a show Saturday night in Italian that was outdoor, and I've done a couple of outdoor shows that have gone well, but this was the typical outdoor. It was nighttime, but it was still the typical outdoor comedy show. It was just awful. Nobody was paying attention. There were little kids running around. It was just bizarre.
Yeah. That's so difficult. I mean, not having control over the environment. Is there anything you do like in advance to, like, figure out a way to dim lights, bring in some lights of your own, sound system, all those kind of concerns. For me, that would be a killer. I would never go back to a venue unless I could set up my environment where it's conducive for me to perform to people who feel it, not just are present for it. Is there anything you can do about that?
So in some of the places, yeah. Wait, what'd you say?
Bring people that laugh. Just bring your own audience.
You could do that, yeah. No, that is the one venue we were doing a lot of shows in, they did let me kind of mess with the lights and stuff, and it did improve. But they didn't have air conditioning, so like right now we can't do shows there at all.
Wow. Is that common over there? Like places that don't have air conditioning in restaurants or venues like that?
Absolutely, yeah. So Italians are very have a lot of kind of old wives' tales about air conditioning. They think it makes you sick, and so it can be hard to come by.
See, now, my theory, I thought it was because, like, I know my wife is from Maine, and Maine has always been cool enough that even during the summer, you don't really need air conditioning. So a lot of the homes didn't have central air or window units. And now with climate readjustment, Maine gets hot as fuck in the summer. And so now all of these homes they're like trying to be rich people with money. Now you can tell the rich people because they have central air. And then there's the people with window units. And then there's the people who are just sitting out on a porch like this. That's three economic classes in Maine now.
Is he going to hell for saying that word?
What, air conditioning?
Not just for saying that word.
No, I just wanted to know if I could expect to see him when I get there.
We'll be roommates. Are you kidding?
There you go.
Because that'll be your penance.
That would be my hell. Just thinking of that, I'm already there.
Your hell would be me, your roommate. And it would be my heaven because I get to torture you.
Yeah, so Florence gets really, really hot in the summer and always has.
Oh,
yeah, and so I think it's mostly because of the ideas. But now there's a lot more Americans living here now. There's a lot of Airbnbs, so a lot of people have installed air conditioning units in their homes. But I've never seen a home with central air in
So
Italy.
how do they relieve themselves from the heat? I mean, because that gets
they leave. They go because they live in a country where they get vacation days, so they go to the beach or they go to the mountains.
Wow. Do you have kids?
I do. I have a daughter. She still lives at home because she's 10 years old. So
does she think you're funny?
She's 11. She just turned 11. I forgot.
Okay. Now, is she an American or is she? Is she an American citizen? This is curious to me because you've been traveling the world. She's American because she's born to American parents. Yeah. Wow.
She's American. She was actually born in the States. We lived on the island when she was born, but we went back home where my wife's family is in Tennessee because we wanted her to know she wasn't coming into money. And so, she was born. She was born there. Yeah.
Wow.
But America's one of the very few countries that have birthright citizenship. So had she been born in Italy, she would not be Italian. She would still be American.
I was about to ask that. Okay, cool. That's awesome. I didn't know that was a thing. Cool.
Oh yeah. Because the parents are citizens. Yeah.
Right.
Do you speak other languages other than English and Italian?
Yeah, I speak the little island that I lived on. They have a language that's unique to them called Pohnpeian, and I speak it as well.
Give me a little something in that language.
Okay, Kasalelia Manko Yai Romwile. That's
I know. Yeah, that's right. Absolutely, I get it. No, I would speak back to you, but I'm a little rusty.
Yeah, just too shy.
He didn't say Pusatuck. He said something different.
Now I'm curious when that comes up on Facebook or even on YouTube later, what the captions will have under you when you're saying
that'll be nice. That'll be nice to see. Yeah.
Is that a language that people would that like a AI or a caption device would recognize?
No, I don't think so. It's got. I think there's like 50,000 people on Earth that speak it, so I doubt it would.
Wow.
Doubt it would recognize it.
That
No.
means it's a good chance that once it hits YouTube, that Matt could be demonetized because they'll hear it and
Could
go,
be.
"No, that's got to be filthy."
It's got to be.
Yeah, why else would he hide it like that?
Yeah.
Are you like no? If I asked this question of GD, he'd be like, "Of course." Are you a genius or something? I mean, learning languages is not, or unless you the Rosetta Stone, you can learn any language in 2 weeks. It's not an easy thing. I mean, to go to an island, live there for a short time, and pick up a language the way you just did, or just move to Italy and pick up that language, it's not an easy thing. I would think. Are you some kind of genius?
Well, I don't I don't like to think of myself as a genius. I like other people to think that about me.
Okay.
But
all right.
No. I have to work very hard at it. But I do think I have maybe a little bit of a gift for languages. But no, I'm not. I'm almost a high school dropout. I barely made it. So
Wow.
Definitely.
So you
not
don't
a
speak
genius.
Pusattuk. You don't.
No, I do
speak
not
any
speak a Pusattuk. No.
Well, now, but because you and I have the same quality in the sense of we're in the room short, not very long, we start picking up the nuances of the accent and stuff like that, the rhythm and stuff like that. And so I'm thinking that I think it's like something inherent in the way the brain is wired.
It might be. Yeah, I've been wondering in this conversation which one of us would start talking like the other one, but so far we've avoided it. I think. So.
I think we're defaulting to talking like Ron.
See,
there's no wires in the brain. No wires.
See, I have the exact opposite problem. I don't pick up accents or nothing. I lived in the southern USA for 12 years. Mm-hmm. I could copy the accent really well. Never picked it up.
Well, our next guest, Jackie Brown, who is not Pam Grier from the movie, she's in Birmingham, Alabama. I'll be curious to see if you start talking like her.
Hello,
man. Roll Tide, man. It's gonna be a good conversation. We're gonna talk about heading to the holler and hitting the creek and having some crawdads. It's gonna be a good time, man. I swear to God.
Then we'll put some shrimp on the bobby.
Whoa, wrong south.
That's way farther south.
So that is the deep south. That is the
that's like Southern Maryland, Ron.
I feel like Australia is like the UK's rednecks. You know.
I think that might be
Australia is the UK's criminals.
Well, that too, but like you go down there, it's just like Alabama. It's pickup trucks, red dirt, inbreeding, all of it.
Is Italy going to be the last stop for you? Or are you continuing to travel the world for new destinations?
For now, Italy is the last stop, but who knows? No, we're happy here, so we'll stick around.
What are the long-term goals for comedy now? Because it seems like no matter what, it's always going to be a struggle. If they don't have comedy clubs, you're always going to have to be inventing opportunities for yourself, which is not necessarily the fun part of performing. It's performing. It's not, Ron should know this, but producing and creating opportunities is not what you sign up for. But in some cases, it's something you have to do. It seems like in a place like Italy, it's mandatory no matter what. I mean, you're gonna have to always be creating your own opportunities. What are your long-term goals?
Yeah, there's basically no way to do it here without producing your own shows. And so the long-term goal is to make money at it. Which just seems to be a little bit far off at the moment, but it's very difficult. But yeah, I would love to just. I don't need to be famous, but making a decent living at it would be good.
Am I missing something here? It looks like it's left off a couple of AN or something. It's Instagram.com/Scott Shanahan. Am I missing
I think it's actually Scott Shanahan Comedy is Instagram.com Scott Shanahan Comedy, I think.
Maybe I have it wrong. Maybe I have it wrong. I just clicked on it and copied the link, but
anyway. that might be what the link says.
Is that your the total of your internet presence? Do you have a link tree, a website? Well, I mean, where we're going to send people
I am on Facebook. There's Scott Shanahan Comedy, Instagram, and Threads. Scott Shanahan Comedy, and all on those three. And that is just about the limit of my presence on social media at the moment. So.
What about doing short? Do you do videos and stuff? Like, because a lot of comedians are getting caught up in like spending too much time chopping up their set into 1 minute pieces for the internet. Are you doing that?
I'm not. I mean, I've got a few clips up, but I don't do it a lot. No, I usually try to just post, like, most of what I'm doing is just one-liners. So I'll write a one-liner and put it on the Scott Shanahan Comedy Facebook, and then I'll make a meme almost out of it for Instagram, like that. So.
Are we big in Italy?
Not so far. Not so far. Maybe after this you'll blow up, but who knows?
Maybe. I said that obviously knowing that nobody in Italy. Actually, we've had a couple of people on. I have one guy who's been on the show who's been bugging me to come on his show. He's based in somewhere over there. I think Naples. But yeah, so we have probably 2 listeners in Italy.
Well, there you go.
Anyway.
Hey.
Yeah, well, Scott, thank you for being on the program. I know it's not morning there. I keep wanting to say thanks for getting up, but you're not just getting up. It's like
I did,
evening.
But I did have to wake up for this. So,
oh, you did?
No, I'm kidding. Thank you for having me. This has been great. I really appreciate it. Hope we can do it again.
No, we appreciate it. Yeah, please come back sometime. I think there's more to talk to you about, but we are out of time. We got to get to news and stuff like that. Appreciate you being part of the program, and we'll find your links, the correct links, and send people to them. Put them all in the description so people know where to find you. If they're going over to Italy, maybe especially if they're going to Florence, they can look you up and find where you're performing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Scott,
thanks so much, guys.
Followers. You just picked up 3 more followers on Facebook.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And on Instagram. You're welcome.
There we go.
Have a great day.
Practically viral.
All right.
It's that herpes. It's going around.
Classically viral. Now, what's happening here? What is happening here? Is that right? No, that's not right. That's right.
There we go.
I don't know what's right. I don't know what's right and wrong. It's time for news. You guys love the news. I know you love the news.
It's my favorite thing ever.
I like to correct the grammar of the AI reporters.
Okay. Let's do that then. Here you go. Ron, go play with your feet.
Louisiana's new law mandating the display of the 10 Commandments in all public school classrooms will not be enforced or endorsed publicly until November 15th, according to a recent court filing in the ongoing legal dispute.
Both parties agreed that the 10 Commandments would not be posted in any public school classrooms, and defendants, including Louisiana's State Board of Elementary and Secondary Education, and schools will not publicly proceed with the law's implementation until November. David Lang reported.
Sheila Jackson Lee, the longtime U.S. representative from Texas, has passed away, her family announced in a statement.
The Congresswoman died at 74 after a brief cancer battle. With incredible grief for our loss, yet deep gratitude for the life she shared with us, we announced the passing of United States Representative Sheila Jackson Lee of the 18th Congressional District of Texas, her family stated. Jessica Oakley reporting.
At least 13 people died in 3 Israeli airstrikes on refugee camps in central Gaza overnight into Saturday, as ceasefire talks in Cairo showed progress, according to Palestinian health officials.
Among those killed in the Nuseirat and Burej refugee camps were 3 children and 1 woman, said Palestinian ambulance teams, who transported the bodies to Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital. AP journalists at the hospital counted 13 corpses. Benjamin Wright reporting.
Thomas Matthew Crooks's high school stated it has no record of him attempting to join the school's rifle team, despite his involvement in the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump.
Jamison Myers, a former classmate and member of Bethel Park High School's varsity rifle team, claimed the gunman tried out for the team in freshman year, but did not make the junior varsity roster and did not try out again. The Pennsylvania school countered this claim in an online fact sheet. Liam White reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
You know, I tried out for the rifle team in my high school. We didn't have one, but I tried out for it anyway.
A plane attempting an emergency landing at an airport in northeastern Ohio crashed, killing all 3 people on board, authorities said.
The Federal Aviation Administration reported Saturday that the twin-engine Beechcraft 60 crashed near Youngstown Warren Regional Airport in Ohio around 6:45 p.m. Friday. The Ohio State Highway Patrol in Trumbull County, notified shortly after 7 p.m. Saturday, confirmed the crash killed the pilot and 2 passengers. Kevin Sanders reporting.
A postal worker was fatally shot in front of a residence in Chicago on Friday, officials reported.
The gunman approached and fired multiple times before fleeing in a vehicle, police said. The 48-year-old victim sustained multiple gunshot wounds and was taken to a hospital where she died. The U.S. Postal Inspection Service Chicago Division is offering up to $250,000 for information leading to the suspect's arrest and conviction. Lawrence Keller reporting.
2 infants required medical attention for smoke inhalation as a fast-moving brush fire in Southern California spread over 250 acres, officials reported.
The brush fire started in the San Gabriel Mountains in northern Los Angeles County near East Fork and Glendora Mountain roads after 3 p.m. local time, according to Angeles National Forest officials, who named the blaze the Fork Fire. 2 infants needed medical attention after being exposed to smoke during their escape. Jim Kender reporting.
When do we
judge on
start
Friday
naming
refused
fires?
to dismiss criminal charges against former Representative George Santos for alleged schemes that led to his political downfall.
The judge rejected Santos's motion to dismiss certain fraud charges, stating he did not meet the legal standards. The New York Republican, who represented parts of Queens and Nassau County, pleaded not guilty to multiple charges of defrauding donors, lying to Congress, and misusing campaign funds. Kyle Norris reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
He did not represent any part of Queens. It was all Nassau County. I am running for that seat. Well, I'm basically crawling for that seat. I'm basically laying down for that seat. But that seat does not contain any part of Queens in there. So get it right out.
Maybe you're referring to his cross-dressing, and so he's representing some of those queens. Yes, queens.
Yes, queen, yes.
That makes sense. In a very unsensical way. That makes sense.
Look, it's AI, okay? It's AI. They have their own logic.
The babies, and I thought that was going to be about baby smoking. He's talking about babies smoking inhalation. It's like, what the fuck? Who's giving babies cigarettes? Or I thought it was going to be about another hot car incident.
I thought it was going to be about throwing them on the grill with their hickory smoked children.
Yeah. I'm so fucking sick of this kid, Matthew Thomas Crooks already. I just, we still don't know anything real for sure about any of this stuff. And it's baffling. It's like, I don't know, conspiracy theories are still coming up with new ones all the time, but we still haven't we haven't gotten to the real truth. Now, Trump put out a statement from Ronnie Jackson, medical, but he never really examined him. He doesn't even have a medical license anymore, Ronnie Jackson. We still have not really heard from the doctors that treated him, right? Have you heard anything from the doctors at the hospital in Pennsylvania that originally treated him?
No, and Ronnie Jackson will say anything that Trump pays him to say.
Right, this guy, you can't believe him. He said Trump was 6'3" and 215 pounds.
Remember the other doctor he had, one with the long hair that looked like he just was smoking his own supply? The first doctor that used to be his private doctor with the long hair, and it looked like I can't remember.
So wait a minute. Do you have something against people with long hair?
Yes, I think they're hippies.
Interesting. But there was a simulation done. I don't know if you guys have seen this. The guy who had put a Trump head on a post and shot it with an AR-15 to see what it would do to his ear. And it basically would take off. There's no way to nick your ear and just, give you a little blood stain. It would chop out a good piece of your ear. So that's leading to, at least according to this one test now.
Well, again, that guy was probably aiming for the ear as opposed to not missing it.
I mean, we can't rule out a fluke shot,
Yeah.
And I wish I would have saved it, but I've seen a couple videos that I swear shows right where the impact happened on the ear, and it's so on the edge. like on the very, very tip of the ear. Like it's yeah. Wasn't nearly as bad as he made it out to sound like it was.
Yeah.
I think maybe his people care about this still, but I think most of the country has moved on.
I've moved on. I wish
you don't have Twitter, or you're not on Twitter enough.
Well, I mean, yeah, but Twitter doesn't
nobody's
count.
moving on.
I mean, shitter is basically just a vacuum for right wing at this point.
Well, I see as many left wing people in there, but
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, and there's porn too. That's really the only point. Of
I don't see any. I've never seen any porn. I mentioned that one time there was like briefly some, and I blocked it, and I haven't seen. I don't see porn.
There was I think it was a Senate hearing. It was a few days ago. Back, when the guy, I think they said in the hearing, I don't know what porn is, but I know it when I see it.
Yeah, that was 1970.
Yeah, a few days ago. So I think that you just don't know what porn is, and you don't know when you see it.
No, there's no nudity. I don't see nudity at all on Twitter. None of it.
Oh, it's there.
Maybe, but somehow it doesn't show up for me in my feed ever. I just get political stuff from both sides, but the conspiracy theories are like rampant stuff, and they're ramping up, not slowing down.
Now I know my Instagram mailbox is loaded with people sending me vagina shots, and I don't mean to drink vagina shots. I mean just straight up, cameras are aiming straight down in there, like almost like they're doing a medical exam. I get so many of those in my Instagram mailbox.
Got to quit sending yourself pictures, man.
My Instagram is pretty clean, except there's lots of bikini models and stuff like that. Influencers.
Shocker.
Girls, you know what? I don't understand girls who just do this. Like this fake smile for their phone and post that all day long. The same pictures, different angle, but same thing, just staring at my phone. And it's not the phone's picture that they're posting. It's somebody taking a picture of them staring at their phone from a third angle. It's like,
yeah, but if you had 36 double D's out while you were doing it, everyone would want to see the pictures too.
Not all of them are like that though. I mean, a lot of them are modestly dressed, and they're not like all bikini shot. It's just weird. I mean, that I understand narcissism. Believe me, I understand narcissism, but I don't get this as a influencer shot. Like, what are you influencing? What are you trying to?
It's a picture of them influencing.
I never understood how they actually make money on that. Because I'm wearing a hat made by Calvin Klein. Are you going to buy that hat now? And how do I get credit for it? I mean, how do these people make money? Because they have to be making money to be able to do that all day and all night, right?
I don't know. The people that don't try to entertain seem to be the ones that get all the money online for doing it. They just sit there and talk or put on designer clothes or eat food.
All right, we got 3 minutes to Jackie Brown. Not Pam Grier. Not the when did that movie come out, Jackie Brown?
Oh man, I'm thinking. I don't know. Part of me says like 77 or something. I don't know. Let me see. Are you looking it up now? Because that would save me the trouble of looking it up now.
No. I thought that was around? Was that a blaxploitation film, or was that around like the time of Pulp Fiction?
Yeah.
Jackie Brown.
Oh man, it was later than I thought. 1997.
That's what I thought. It was around the time Pulp Fiction stuff, right? Because
I was going to say the name sounded familiar. I've heard of it.
Damn, why did I think it was so much? Probably because
my original thought was the 70s, but then I thought it was like mixed in with the Quentin Tarantino boom. Anyway, so did we think Jackie Brown is her real name, or is she just trying to cash in off of that?
No, her real name is Pam Grier. Jackie
no,
Brown
not the girl in the movie, the comedian who's coming on from Birmingham, Alabama. Do you think her real name is Jackie Brown, or do you think she's just trying to capitalize on?
No, I think her real name is Foxy. I think she just didn't want to get confused with the other one, and so she changed it to Jackie.
Her real name is Foxy Cleopatra.
Oh, there was a Foxy, right? There was a
Foxy
Foxy.
Brown. And
It was
Right.
Foxy
Cleopatra
Cleopatra,
Jones?
though. Yeah. And don't forget Cleopatra Schwartz either.
Schwartz?
Yeah, it was a
How can he
movie.
be Jew and Egyptian at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay. Cleopatra Jones was 1973, and that's what I was thinking of.
Now, Cleopatra
Yeah.
Schwartz was in a Kentucky Fried Movie. It was a
Right.
trailer in Kentucky Fried Movie.
Wow. Ron is old. He's an
And
old
that's
guy.
Tamara Dobson. That's Tamara Dobson who played Cleopatra Jones. Man, wow.
So I had take a moment because I had dumbly said that summer was a bad time for comedy on Long Island. Colin Quinn, the Colin Quinn, will be at Governor's this Saturday night. I'm looking forward to that in the main room at
That would be
Governor's.
so great to see. Oh, I'm so jealous.
Yeah. Now, Sticks and Stones asked me to tell people about their new shows. Rob White will be here next week. He's doing a regular Wednesday night. Hampton's Best Comedy with Rob White and the Comedy All-Stars. That's every Wednesday starting. Actually, he's got one this week, Wednesday, July 24th. He will be here next Monday, and we'll be talking about the regular Wednesday show. Sherrod Small is also due to come on the program in the near future. Carmen Lynch is at the Hamptons Comedy Fest in Sticks and Stones, August 9th. The Sklar Brothers, Jordan Rock, August 17th, and the Hamptons Comedy Film Festival with Katina Corraro, an all stand-up comedy show. Starts August 22nd. So I'll be talking a lot about them because I'm a kiss up for Sticks and Stones Comedy Club. Oh, and our friend Vanessa Hollingshead is there next. I think what is the 26th? That's Friday. That's this Friday. Vanessa, she's been on this program. You remember Vanessa, right? GD, or were you here when she was here? Vanessa Hollingshead, the girl who ate the 9 hits of acid.
Right. Yeah. She's the daughter of daughter of a guy who was hung out with Timothy O'Leary.
Yeah, Timothy Leary, not O'Leary.
No,
that's Mrs. O'Leary's cow.
No, it's also I was getting the cow mixed up with the acid.
Yeah, she hung out with the cow.
The cow trip and the acid trip. They're two different.
Right, her father was like a heroin dealer or something, something. But he hung out with Timothy Leary, and they had like cubes of LSD on the living room coffee table, on sugar cubes, and she ate like 9 of them at 8 or 9 years old. Was tripping her brains out. That one, yeah. She's back there. She's going to be there 26th and 27th, both. That's this weekend. Go see Vanessa there. She's very funny comedian. Jackie's knows her. He's friends with her, and is she still hot looking? I was like, I don't think that wears off. I don't think hotness wears off. Well, I've seen some ugly old ladies, but hey, listen, I've seen some ugly old men too. Look at Ron. Look at GD. So not all of us stay beautiful like me is all I'm basically saying. So she's 2 minutes late. You think she's not showing up, Jackie Brown, right? You think so?
No show.
First no show of the week. We need a no show sound effect, right?
Yeah, we do. No show.
No show. All right, you guys talk about something. What do you want to talk about? You want to do showbiz? Do you have showbiz? Because it's showbiz news. I don't know if you know.
Matt, just so you know, the Reverend quoted a book, a sucker is born from the Book of Barnum. A sucker is born every minute.
Yeah,
and it even though
W.C. Fields.
No, they don't credit it to W.C. Fields. They credit it to a guy named Hannum, who was referring to P.T. Barnum's customers.
Aha. I think there was a film, I don't know, but with W.C. Fields. Tucker, yeah, the phrase associated with P.T. Barnum.
Right.
Good morning. Yeah, all right, I stand corrected. I thought, I'm pretty sure W.C. used to say that quite often, though, in his vaudeville stuff. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Only reason why I looked it up because the Reverend asked me about that, and I said, "Sure, Matt wouldn't have corrected you if he wasn't
Oz
going to."
Perlman. Is it Oz Perlman? Is the guy? No.
No, somebody last name Hannum, Hannum or something. So the Reverend asked me to look it up for him because he was going to put a correction in his.
I think you
sermon.
really need to see a psychiatrist about this issue.
But looking things up, that's not a problem.
No, the fact that the Reverend talks to you so often and you talk back to him,
Right.
I think is
It's
probably
impolite. If you have somebody talking to you, you don't talk back. That's impolite.
This is funny. Mike Schiavola, who often complains about we talk about politics, wants us to talk about politics.
But why does he call it the pink elephant?
I don't know.
Because
I don't know
Kamala's a chick and a Democrat. Oh, wait, elephants are Republican, aren't they?
Right.
Yeah. That's weird.
Pink
I don't know that.
elephants are a whole different. I think he's mixing metaphors. I think that's what's happening. He's kind of.
Is that like a thing in your neighborhood, Matt? Or has he just been hanging around you so long that because you mix metaphors?
I do it all the time, yeah. But
Yeah.
no, he didn't. He's never really hung out with me.
But is it like is he like from the same neighborhood? Did he grow up like 3 houses down?
No. See, this is the thing. I wanted to say that last week he was talking about, well, everybody in Lindenhurst is pro-Trump. I don't know anybody from Lindenhurst. That's his fucking town. He's 6 years younger than me. I don't know anybody from that town. And I did say the hardcore people I know who support Trump were all prisoners. I don't know any of the fucking same people he knows. And what I know about Lindenhurst, and he probably doesn't know this about Lindenhurst, is it used to be called Breslau. It was a German town that was one of the America First towns that supported the Nazis during World War II. It changed its name to Lindenhurst to avoid that stigma.
So they named it after the guy. They named it after the pilot who lost a baby who supported the Hitlers. That
no, not Lindbergh, Lindenhurst. It's
okay.
a different town in Germany. It was originally named after Breslau, which is a town in Germany. But then they wanted to. It sounded too German. Let's call it Lindenhurst, which sounds a little less German. I don't know.
Okay,
but I don't know anybody.
Michael, that's going to be on the test. That will be on the test, Michael. So.
And actually, I left home at 14, and I'm 6 years older than Mike, so his fucking crowd would have been children to me. I don't know any of those fucking people. But to answer your question, no, I don't think the mixed metaphors is a Long Island thing or a neighborhood thing. This is the first time we've seen him do it. I do it almost daily. I'm a metaphor mixer. That's what I do.
Yes. You like your metaphors shaken, not stirred. Yeah, you mix them up really well. Yeah.
I don't know, but if you want to talk about Harris, I will say this: we don't know that Harris has the nomination yet, just because Joe Biden supports her or came out, and there are several other prominent people who have supported her. A lot of people who haven't supported her. One in particular, Barack Obama, has not come out and endorsed.
He usually waits until.
I know.
Yeah, he waits. He waits until it's official.
Yeah, man.
Joe Manchin is saying he wants to become a Democrat again. He just left the Democratic Party months ago, and now he wants back in because he sees an opportunity. That opportunity really isn't there. It's like him and Tulsi.
It's not there, and he knows it's not there. I watched him on an interview this morning before the show. He knows it's not there. He's trying to get a bunch of people to. He's just trying to be disruptive, basically. That's it. He had nothing. He'd even at one point said in the interview that if Kamala wants to run on prosecuting Trump and has nothing else to run on, it's like their administration has plenty to run on. I don't understand why he would even say that, and he wants to make it about Trump. Manchin is he's a dick. He's a dick. He's a unnecessary evil that the Democrats had to deal with. Him and Sinema.
I'm surprised that they haven't been talking about Hunter Biden putting their own criminal up against a criminal.
Huh?
Oh, what? Yeah, but No, you don't want to do that. Hunter Biden doesn't want to be in political office.
I thought for a second it was the Wi-Fi that froze up, but it was his brain that froze up, wasn't it?
No. I don't know if Harris is gonna get the nomination, but she's already raised $50 million.
I think she will. I honestly, I
think she will
get it. But it's not like a done deal. But there's a lot of things that are involved in getting the nomination. Just even being qualified to get the nomination. I mean, they have to get 300 delegates and no more than 50 from any state to sign off on it.
Do you think Jeffrey Epstein's friend is going to drag out the corpse of that fireman since he made out with his jacket and helmet? I mean, that guy is desperate.
You know what was really shameful about that? They misspelled the guy's name.
Oh yeah. It wasn't even his real jacket or nothing. It was just a big fucking publicity stunt. It was stupid.
I did not think it was his jacket. I thought it was like a Andy Kaufman moment when he did the Elvis and he said Elvis Presley's jacket. Well, I don't know if it was him or Saturday Night Live, but they had the jacket and the jacket just shook. Yeah,
no pardon Hump before he gets thrown out. He's not getting thrown out.
And he said he's not going to pardon him. Now, I'm not going to say, I would not say that. Well, first of all, he said he wouldn't pardon him. I don't know if he ever said he wouldn't commute the sentence. I don't know that. But Kamala Harris, if she's elected, could do it, or if any Democrat could do it after.
I'd be really surprised. I wouldn't be shocked, but I'd be really surprised if Biden pardons his own son.
Yeah, I don't think he would. He said he wasn't going to do it, so I don't think he would.
Well, politicians say things all the time, and then they go back on them all the time.
You're thinking of dishonest politicians. You're not talking.
And they go back to islands all the time too.
Now, the one who was refusing to lay down, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., thinks he has a chance to become the Democratic nominee now. This is what he said last night on his little live.
That guy's still around, huh?
He's not. Yeah, and he's saying I'm the only one who could beat Trump. But you told Trump you wanted a fucking job in his administration just last week, and he's acting like he never said that.
What do you think? What do you think, GD? Does he drop out by the end of this month, or you think it's going to be August that he drops?
I'm thinking that RFK will still drop out in August. I think it's as he doesn't have a way of winning. He doesn't have a path to winning.
No, and it's especially with Biden dropping out. I think that essentially his family's just telling him now, go fuck yourself. Get in line.
And it makes him the other old white guy. Before it was like he was like the younger old white guy.
I'm just excited that there will be someone else to run against that old fossil and Jeffrey Epstein's friend Trump. So I'm happy.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Yeah, you should be. I do have a couple entertainment headlines. It's nothing too exciting, but
it is
exciting. You don't want the theme music, or you want your theme music?
I'll have to go out and get. I got to go out and get my lady sunglasses and put on my lingerie for Michael because I know it gets him excited.
I didn't even think you
gets him so hard.
I thought you put the lingerie on for the show. I didn't know you put it on just for that segment.
Yep.
All well and good. I will play the music in a second. I just want to bring up, and I truly feel this way, and I'm very convicted that I'm right about this. Something I said to Gary Ismans yesterday. Gary's been on the show. He's a neurosurgeon, and he talks politics a lot on Twitter. Basically said to him, listen, you have to understand that no matter what happens in this election, and I know a lot of people are looking at this election like it matters. It's the most important election of your life. I feel like no matter what happens in this election, there will be violence. It may take a different path depending on who wins. If Trump loses, I guarantee you the violence will be instantaneously and will erupt into a bigger version of what we saw on January 6th, and then there will be sporadic instances of it from there. If you lose, they're just it's gonna say it was rigged or whatever.
I think that only depends if it's a close race. If you do
No.
something where it's a landslide, yeah, you might have a couple things pop off, but it needs to be a landslide.
Even if last time it was by 10 million popular votes, even if it is 20 million, which it won't be, they don't believe the numbers. They don't believe they're being fairly counted. So that it doesn't matter if you say it's 100 million to 1. They don't believe it. And so, the bigger the landslide, the more they will not believe it. If it's a close race, the mentality of these people is it's only a fair election if we win. And the desperation for him is he can't afford to lose, because that means and eventually, sooner or later, he will lose his freedom. So there's that part of it. But even if he wins, we're still on a path towards very civil war eventually. I'm not saying it will happen tomorrow, but we're looking at taking people's rights away. We're looking at basic concentration camps. People are taking Project 2025 as if it's not a real thing, and he can come out and disavow it and say, I don't know anything about it, when it's all his fucking people. And I had showed the tape of him congratulating and thanking the Heritage Foundation, and these are his next appointees who wrote the fucking thing. He can claim that all he wants. Eventually, if you start to do that, people will revolt. And I think this only ends, again, America being the centerpiece of world stability. Under that, it's not long before we end up in a place where Germany was post-World War II, a ruined country. And I think it only ends. The insanity only ends, and I probably won't live to see it. It only ends after complete destruction of America, no matter what happens in this election. It's not like we win and all of a sudden it's kumbaya.
I disagree.
You can disagree all you want, but that's where we're headed. You can't imagine in your mind anywhere that there is going to be peace among America that is this divided right now. If you believe that the election is just going to make everybody hold hands and come together and be nice to each other, you're fucking insane.
No, it won't. But you're talking about his core people, and if you win in a landslide, it makes telling that lie even harder. And we all know that it's a lie. He didn't do anything to really convince anybody at the convention. Even the people at his fucking convention were bored with his shit. I mean, you're talking about 90 minutes of a guy, an old elderly Jeffrey Epstein friend, just rambling on and on. And
that's your take on it. I guarantee you the 70 million people, the Mike Chavolas of the world, the 70 million people that voted for him last time are as committed to ever. And again, not based on any fucking sense of reality, but the fact that they're wound up to believe our side against your side. And that's all they care about.
I don't think it's that course. All those 70 million people are not like core MAGA people. A lot of those 70 million were Republicans who fell in line. The big question is, will all those Republicans fall in line? I really don't think so, because the Republicans, besides the MAGA people, the Republicans really aren't excited about their ticket. I mean, you got hardcore because they like J.D. Vance because he's a cuck and he's been emasculated, because that's the type of people they want. But Trump didn't do himself.
Am I speaking in German? Do you think it will be peaceful if Trump wins? Did I just say we are headed towards civil war no matter who wins? I don't think. Well, let me finish my fucking thought, all right?
Yep.
To this question. I don't think there will be. We saw what the Democrats protest look like. They'll dress up in cunt uniforms and stand in front of the White House if he wins. I don't think they will do a January 6th thing. I do think eventually, if Trump wins, Project 2025 is the plan for what he's going to do. He's going to take away all women's rights, make them walk around with period cards. He's going to put fucking non-Christians up against a biblical citizenship test. He's going to form makeshift concentration camps for people like me who are dissenters. He's going to start, because he asked for and got immunity to kill his enemies and people who don't like him or say nasty things about him. He asked for that. He didn't ask for it because he doesn't plan on using it. There will be no peace if Trump.
They also plan on firing about 50,000 government employees and replacing them with people who've sworn MAGA oaths.
Lackeys.
Yeah. Lackeys.
Wear your oath to the Fuhrer.
Right.
And if you're not fucking paying attention to that, you're just fucking willfully following a cult. And listen, someday in the far future, maybe the Kool-Aid is going to wear off and you're going to see, just like the people who woke up after Hitler. And yes, I am comparing Trump to Hitler, dead on, same fucking energy. So sooner or later, you will wake up and realize.
And that can happen with this election.
Yeah, and it's scary because you have Trump, who already said he wasn't going to take the election results if he doesn't win. He said that plain as day in the debate. He's gone on record saying it.
Ask him, Ron. Ask him if Kamala wins by a landslide, will he accept that?
Yeah, and I agree with you, Matt. I agree with you, Matt. It's gonna be chaos. I've been calling it for years. I was like, we're a young country. We're way past due for another revolution or a collapse. This shit's getting way out of hand.
Yeah, we're too divided to ever make peace. And eventually, I don't think if the Democrats win landslide or one vote, and this is what I said to Gary, it doesn't matter if they win by 100 million or one vote. There is not going to be peace in this country, no matter what, no matter who wins, no matter how much it's by. There will never. We're not making peace in this country. We're not, and I'm not going to live to see the destruction of it. But
I mean, they've created division.
We're on that
all
road.
The way down. Yeah, they've created division all the way down because we're divided, whether it's politics, race, religion, where you live, what you eat, like what sexuality you claim. They've created division from top to bottom.
But once again, you're listening to a very loud mouthpiece. Like Shitter is basically a mouthpiece for the right wing, but at the same time, talk to regular people. They just want to go about their days. Seeing him go through this whole bit again, he needs to lose by a landslide. Yeah, he'll have people upset, and those hardcore people will do shit. We're expecting that, but the rest of the country is like, fuck you. We want to move on, and I really think that's what this is. It's time to put an end to all this bullshit, because he's just you can see he's just a withering old, old man.
I think that's wishful. That's wishful
You can see
thinking,
that, and I'm not just basing this on Twitter. I watched a good friend on Saturday arguing at a bar with a psychology major who, a person who has, she's actually a psychologist. She's working for some government agency as a psychologist, and she was saying she's so fucking dug deep into this. She said, if Trump is such a morally bankrupt person, how come his family loves him? I was like, are you kidding me? You have a psychology degree and you're asking that question. Did John Gotti's family love him? Did O.J. Simpson's family love him even after he killed their mother? He decapitated their mother. Do you know what Stockholm Syndrome is? These people are devoted completely. The cult is completely still brainwashed that everything that he says is true, and everything he lies about, all his lies are accepted.
And that cult, yeah, and you're right, but that cult is not 70 million people.
No, but once he wins and it starts affecting everybody, like that's where the title turn.
Let's agree that it's not 70 million people. It's at least 35 million people. It's at least half that, because you look at the fringe groups that he has, all those, and this is the thing where you say, well, if Trump's not a Nazi, how come the Nazis love him? Because there are avowed Nazis, people who are proud to wear the swastika on their arm, who are behind him. The Proud Boys, the KKK, the Southern Christians, the evangelists. Those are not small people. I don't know if you've seen Joel Osteen's church. It's not a small group. And there are how many of those mega churches are there? They're all deep in line with the false idol.
No, actually, a lot of the biggest thing that's happened in the evangelicals is they've actually split. At one point, they were all together, but since the last election, the evangelicals in their churches have even split, because even there are a huge section of evangelicals like, we didn't want any of this shit. We didn't want to be this deeply involved, and they know the type of person Trump is. And so a lot of those people have left because they're confused. They're like, we're supposed to be evangelicals. And so that old friend of Jeffrey Epstein, he split the evangelicals even.
You can bring
They
up,
might be split, but they still all
nobody
say
believes the Epstein stuff, and they still, most of them haven't even been exposed to it. First of all, and none of them believe that Trump really had 65 phone calls with him in the last 2 months of his life.
But once again, you're speaking as a whole. But the reality is, that group now has split because
three states have passed biblical laws. No, the evangelicals are firmly on the Republican team, and they're going to back the Republican.
Even if they split, you got to remember.
Show me one who has really. Show me one who has it.
A lot of these schools and these churches, they all say the same pledge to the same Christian flag before they do anything to the American flag. That flag is going to overpower everything, especially when they start seeing this Christian wave, like, with this Project 2025. It's gonna snowball, because the Christian religion is still very culty. And as soon as they start seeing this fall in line, it's going to happen.
I think, Ron, you're looking at America with very rose-colored glasses. I'm not just seeing left people. I mean, right people talking in terms of division. I'm seeing left people, and it's not just Twitter; it's everywhere. And in my neck of the woods, Trump flags are still on every fucking lawn. This county is they're deeper in now than they were in 2020. They're not less inclined to back him. They are more inclined.
We have counties around here that were definitely Trump counties, but you don't even see most of the flags anymore. Now occasionally you'll see a house that's still, they have their Trump stuff up, but it's not like it was even the last time.
Depends where you are, though. When I was in Missouri,
but in South Central PA, what we love is hypocrisy, because this area leans somewhat conservative, because they love subtle racism, and then like the drugs that we have in here. So if you go to the southern part of the county, that was typically, Trump County. That's where you would see all the Trump shit and things like that. But currently, you're not quite seeing that as much in those areas. Now, I agree that there are troubling things on the horizon, like the whole thing with Project 2025 and all that. But this is like what this country is kind of built on. We're at a precipice of change. So the older whites, they're scared because they're going to be fucked out of existence in a few years. They're going to be the minority. And then the rest of the people.
Gigi, what are you doing?
We just want to fucking move on with our lives.
Are you bored with the conversation? So you're getting your sex toys out and your sex robots or whatever you have.
Technically, I'm putting them away, but it's nothing with bored. I can't stand to see things out of place, and this was in my vision, and it was just annoying me. I just couldn't stop.
OCD, I get it. GD's OCD.
OCD Anderson.
Yeah. what was I thinking? Well, first of all, change, yes. No, keep in mind that no empire has ever lasted as long as Stephen says. We're a young country. Empires don't last 250 years. They just don't. They don't. And I think we are on the verge of collapse. My first comment to talk about Harris and his skills to run this country. I don't fucking play, and I don't fucking care about personalities or people. I care about the issues and the platform. And I do think the platform that that the Democrats will embrace, no matter who is running, whether it's Kamala or somebody else. Listen, the presidency, this is the idea that it's a lone wolf job. That's why there's a cabinet of 22 fucking people, competent people who know how to work things. The only people who fucking gravitate towards a personality are cult-minded people, whether it was Obama or Trump, fucking people who just worship false idols. I don't play that fucking game. I don't care about that. I think the Republican, the current Republican, I call it the Trump Republican. It's not the Republican party that I knew. Their platform, and most Republicans can't even name what their fucking platform is. Project 2025 is fucking fascism 101, and anything that directly opposes that, I support it 100%. It needs to be, that needs to be stopped. Now, whether it will be or not, if we let it pass, I think the destruction of America won't be a decade. It will be less than a decade before the country is completely destroyed in what looks like American Nazism, American fascism. If there's somehow the Democrats win it, that battle is just beginning then to reverse the court decisions, to make freedom on, this is a fucking thing. Voting against your own interests. The Republican Party, the Trumpers, are all doing that. Whether it's old people who are voting to have their own Social Security cut and Medicare cut or sunset, or whether you're talking about trailer park people who are looking for less taxes on the rich, but more taxes on them, on the trailer park people, or all of it, or women who in the Republican Party who basically want to go back to not having a vote for women. All this, people are voting against their own interests completely.
Well, but let's be fair though. The Republican Party has been like that for decades. People always vote against their own interests. I mean, Mike is the perfect example of that. So the Republicans have been doing that for probably since Reagan. It really got hot and heavy during the Reagan years when they started really voting against their own interests.
Mike doesn't. He rejects the idea that he's going to be able to. He's going to be forced to take a biblical citizenship, which he would not pass. By the way, he's not a Bible studier. He doesn't know the Bible. He would not pass the citizenship test. So
now, if I could, I just want to address one thing about one of Mike's questions about Kamala's ability to her skills to run the country. The first thing is that she is, first of all, at least willing to run the country. Trump did not run the country. Trump admitted publicly that he had no interest in being the executive. He wanted to be the guy in charge of propaganda. Okay, he didn't want to make any real decisions, which is why he didn't know anything about policies. And that's why to this day, he does not really discuss policies. He says ambiguous terms like, I'm going to make things great. I'm going to make things cheap. I'm going to make things wonderful. But he never tells you how. I'm going to get them free. Freedom, freedom, freedom. But he doesn't tell you how he's going to do it.
Right.
That's why, and when he was, as a matter of fact, his first term, when he ran in 2016, when he was looking for a vice president candidate, they could not find him one because Trump wanted the vice president to do all of the work and he would just sit back and get the credit. That was it. They wound up with Mike Pence because they thought Mike Pence could could appeal to the churchy people because
He's not
Trump is always
listening to you. He's typing, "I'm an atheist." He's not listening to your response.
Oh, okay. I take it back then. I'm sorry. You anybody else was saying anything? Go ahead.
He's an atheist. Again, that you're not going to pass the you're voting for a guy who wants you out of this country.
I was just gonna say he's doing exactly what you said they do. He's voting against their own
I
interests.
mean, honestly, it's like we shouldn't even be talking. I mean, honestly, at this point, if you're still voting for that guy at this point with everything in it, just go hit yourself in the head with a hammer at this point. I mean, we can't cater to the dumb people forever. Eventually, you just got to let the lemmings run right off the ledge and let the Lord sort them out, like Jeffrey Epstein would want.
He talked about Kamala, and I do think she's competent. Obviously, she's a competent prosecutor, one of the best records as a prosecutor, and she's actually worked for a living, unlike a lot of the other politicians. I do think she's very competent.
Yeah.
And if you watch the Senate hearings for confirmation of Kavanaugh or Gorsuch or Barr, she intimidated the fuck out of those people. She had them stuttering. She was the most impressive. And this is why I thought she would have made a good candidate in the first place. And she wasn't a good candidate when she was in the primaries. She wasn't polling well at all and dropped out very early. But when you talk about competence, she's I told him I'm not a Trumper. No, yeah.
Remember,
now, why lie? Why lie?
Because he's taken too many hits to the head with the hammer already.
I'm not a Trumper, but all I keep saying is I love Trump. I'm voting for Trump. I love Trump. You can't say anything bad about Trump or I'm gonna get offended. I'm not a Trumper though. I've seen you in the Trump parade. You posted fucking the Trump vote parade that you were leading. I'm not a Trumper. I seen you on the fucking side of the road on the parade, the Trump flag parade on Long Island. You posted those. Do you forget? Oh my
Christ,
God.
did a
Why
cow
lie?
shit in here?
Smells like it. Yeah, well,
I don't know.
That's bizarre.
I don't know.
Matt,
Should we
since
do entertainment? Because I feel like we're just chasing our tails.
I just want to bring up one thing. I just wanted to, Matt, if you remember Kamala Harris during the hearings when she was cross-examining Jeff Sessions for his confirmation, and
I
he
don't
got to the
remember
point where he actually said, "I can't talk that fast. You're making me very nervous."
Yeah, no, she's a competent prosecutor, which is why the people who said they couldn't wait to run against her now are trying to stop her from running.
I just want to see her debate Trump and Trump try not to say anything racist and just see him just bubbling under his skin to drop it
or misogynistic. He does not like intelligent women. First of all, that's a known thing about him. He's like he doesn't know how to deal with that, and strong women who push back on him. This is his bugaboo. So,
oh my God, yeah.
And now, bringing you the latest in entertainment news from Hollywood, New York, and East Bumfuck, Montana. Here's our chief entertainment correspondent, Ron Kane. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Showbiz.
We still don't have glasses or any contact
GD.
with eyeballs. Sorry to throw that at you. Right in the middle of a sentence there. I cut Ron off with that. But
yeah, I couldn't find my slides there.
Yeah,
No worries.
I reached out to iBoss and there's no contact yet.
All right. Well,
are we still talking about Twisters?
That looks like Blake
Teen
Shelton.
Twisters.
I don't know who that is.
So this is a picture from Twisters, which opened this weekend, which made $123 million on its opening weekend. So
Is that good? Is that a good number?
Yeah, for that movie, movies on the past couple weeks have been making money. For the past couple weeks, it's been all kids movies that have been doing well, but now this remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it, is now out, and it's people apparently like it. It's got some good good buzz about it. So who knows? This is where we are. So
You know, we were talking about Twister the other day because of this, and again, I think the devices are listening because all I saw, I got like 19 different clips from the original and backstage of the original. That Bill Paxton? Is that Bill?
Yep.
Yeah, he was he was showing some of the set and some of the special effects and
I
all
saw
that
the
stuff.
same video.
It's like, I didn't ask for that. Why is that out all of a sudden? Obviously, the movie, it probably people who are doing the remake are putting that out there. But for why it's in my feed, I think the devices are listening to us.
Oh yeah,
Titty
All right,
twisters. That's what you're gonna start getting now.
Titty twisters. That's going to be the sequel.
Sequel?
to that.
Yeah.
Porn parody.
So speaking of movies opening this week, another big movie that's been promoted for months now,
Edward
Deadpool
Scissorhands?
versus Wolverine is coming out this Thursday. This should be another big movie.
Yes.
A lot of people are excited for it. I'm curious. I've been tired of them releasing cameo after cameo of this person. It's just leave it be and let us see it. That's it.
Is that you, Jackoff?
Yeah.
That
Yes,
is.
it
Yep.
is. That man's a pretty man right
Now,
there.
is he still buff? Is he going to age out of this anytime soon? You know, like
I'm sure he
Schwarzenegger
will.
kind of looks like
He's
a
gonna
woman
have
now.
to.
Yeah, he's in really good shape. He's not in his old Wolverine shape because he has publicly said that his body can physically not handle that. So they're actually they're using CGI muscles on him to do it because he just physically can't do it. Because I mean, the guy's in his mid-50s, I think, by now.
Right. At some point, you age out of being able to even get back in shape again.
And
Yeah,
Wolverine is supposed to be someone who does not age as quickly as everybody else. But yet he's got the point where, well, he's supposed to be maybe a couple hundred years old because his origin story.
He was
starts
born in
with
the
slavery.
1800s. 1800s. Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't know how long he's supposed to live, but we've already seen the sequel, or they've already shot the movie where he dies. Was that Logan?
Yep,
Yeah.
and they address all of that in this movie. So
Okay.
Yeah, and it's alternate timelines. So
Oh,
no
yeah,
one,
yeah, I
no
forgot
one ever
about that.
dies in comics. We know this.
Yeah,
Well,
this is
eventually
also-
they tell that to Black Panther.
Yeah.
well, this is ushering in the whole mutant side of MCU now. So they're having to
Right.
fix all the Fox shit before they bring them all into Disney. So
Yeah, and I'm sure
kind of what this is.
there will be plenty of references of that during the entire movie, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of weird though, because they'll bring in all the new mutants, and none of the guys who did Patrick, what's his face, Patrick Swayze, the bald guy who played Professor X.
Oh, he's in this movie.
That's not Patrick Swayze. That's the Star
Patrick
Trek
Stewart.
guy. Is that who you're talking
Patrick
about?
Stewart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Patrick
Captain
Stewart.
Picard.
Yeah, that's
Captain
what I said.
Picard, you
Right,
mean?
that guy, the bald guy. These guys aren't going to be able to really benefit from when they start making the next phase with the young mutants.
Well, the rumor is that this is going to more or less get rid of the Fox timeline and
Right.
the Sony timeline. Not the Sony time. Well, mostly the Fox. All the X-Men stuff previously. This is supposed to kind of retrofit and fix all that as they introduce all of the new mutants in the
See, I'm waiting for the Daredevil stuff to get in because I really like Cox as the Daredevil. He's been my favorite Daredevil so far.
So this picture here is from another movie that's currently out called Long Legs. It's doing pretty well. It's got good word of mouth on it. This stars Nicolas Cage as a serial killer. A friend of mine has seen it over this weekend, and she told me it was good. It was freaky. So I definitely want to see this, and it's kind of cool right now that with all this box office shit and everything being like moved around, independent horror movies are doing pretty well, and there's been like some decent ones coming out this year. So it's kind of good to see these small indie horror movies doing well. And so if you have a chance, go see Long Legs.
You had me at freaky.
Yeah.
We have a director. Don't ask me because I'm too overwhelmed. Of a independent horror film coming on. I think next week, maybe the week after. So that should be an interesting talk about because I think independent horror films in particularly do well by independents, not done by. You don't have to have major studio backing to do well with a horror film. So
Yeah, look at Blair Witch Project. Cost 60 grand to shoot, and they made hundreds of millions on that.
was that
Yeah,
horror?
the
Or
one
just
thing the one thing I would like to see come back though would be comedies. I would like to see comedies come back because when you watch a good comedy movie in a theater, it's a great experience because everyone's laughing
Yep.
together. It's fantastic. So I would love to see that.
Last time I experienced that, I think was Step Brothers.
Yeah.
Step Brothers was a good. Yeah.
Didn't see it.
Didn't see it. Wow.
No.
Disgusting. Be ashamed
So
of
this
yourself.
is the final bit of entertainment news, a shameless plug. Tonight at HMAC, we are doing the comedy bucket. The show starts at 7:30, and there's the list of comics that are participating in this month's comedy bucket. So if you're in the area, please come out. This will be the last show for the summer. We're going to take a break in August for the bucket, and then we return in September for the fall push. So
Now,
it's a great
Ron,
show. It's a fun time.
Ron, are you taking the summer break because of a scheduling thing, or just because you're getting in trouble with AI and your algorithms?
No, it's I figure I'm gonna do the way I'm gonna work this right now is I'm gonna do 3 shows, then I'm gonna take a month off because just works out better that like August is a really rough time for comedy in the Northeast. So I'm just gonna take August off, and plus I have to write this every month and
Yeah.
put it all together. So I'm giving myself a break too, and I think it's good for the show that it's not there every month. That it comes in, 3 months time frame comes out and see it, and it keeps the show from getting less worn down. I think.
Yeah.
I am feeling like if I didn't have a full schedule, I think I would probably end this show today. I really do feel like that, but I have a month and a half of people are booked for the daily. I don't think there's any way out. I'm trapped.
Oh, and by the way, thank you to everyone that came out to Laughing Stock on Saturday night. It was turned out to be a great show with pre-sales and everything, and so thank you for that. We will be back probably October, November with another show there. So,
yeah, I was talking to somebody about the frustration of just trying to do things on a long term and not seeing enough growth or not seeing things change over years and years and time goes by, and you're just looking for something to give you an indication that you're advancing with this stuff. And this feels like this show in particular feels like we've hit a dead end. Now that we've had another no show today, I contacted her last night and she was responding. Yeah, I'll be there. Look forward to it. I'll see you then. Where is she? Didn't show up.
I see you have a future show coming up with a guy named Brian T. Shirley, BTS.
Yeah. Why, you know him?
Oh yeah, we go way back. I mean, like we're like this. We're like buddies.
Okay.
Yeah, we're like kissing
what
cousins.
He means like this.
What made you mention him this morning?
Because I saw it this morning.
That's the only one you saw?
That's the only one I saw that I could actually the name I recognize. I recognize the name.
We have 2 guests every day. Well, you don't see Aaron Bullitt this Friday. You recognize that name?
Friday? Do we know him?
Yes, unfortunately we do.
Oh, that's that black guy keep trying to take my black job.
That's yeah. I guess he doesn't know he's black. He probably thinks he's an illegal immigrant coming to take your black job.
Probably.
Yeah, so booked up really 2 weeks into September, really. I'm looking at the calendar right now. I can't quit. When do you guys take the show over? Just make it your own and let me out of here?
Well, Steven offered to do it several times.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. And now Ron doesn't know if he can do it because Ron may have to go back to work.
I too have to go back to work, so I too have to go back to work. So
Steven's going to be a new manager at AT&T starting tomorrow.
maybe I have an interview today with Sweetwater.
Well, you better get my fucking data back then, Steven.
What are you talking about? Yours is the first I'm selling.
But no, Steven has never once offered to take over the show. He offered to do some of the work for the show.
This guy has not once tried to stab me in the back and take everything from me.
I wish he would. I wish he would. My back is yours. Stab away.
Listen,
and treat me like a doormat that I am.
People.
My computer, I don't think would allow me to do everything needed for this show on a regular basis. It screams at me every morning when I get on there.
People keep tagging me in these dopey weight loss stuff on Facebook, and I've said it a million times now. Please stop tagging me. Block them, and they still. I block them, and they still manage to like change profiles and tag me and stuff.
I've had to block like 40 people.
I don't.
Now it doesn't show up on my timeline unless I add to profile, but still, it's like a fucking pain in the ass to kind of remove tag.
Yeah, and then they don't let you do both. It's like if you hit remove tag, it disappears. If you say remove it from your timeline, the tag is still there. I want to do all of them. I want to like remove the tag, remove it from our profile, and take me off your fucking list and stop.
Block them and find a way to not let them tag me ever again.
I block and report them. I block and report.
Reporting does nothing. Facebook doesn't give a shit.
I know it doesn't,
that report goes to nothing. It goes to it's automatically sent to the toilet.
I think it's sent to iBoss. I think iBoss gets all the complaints. That's why we don't hear anything back from them. They're so busy dealing with Facebook complaints.
Now
his hands were soft and supple.
You know what?